My top, Tampa Bay, let's roll, it's game day. Rays on the diamond, bolts in the sky, Bucs on the goal line, Bulls ride or die. From the tailgate talk to the bright field glow, you know where to go. It's the JP Peterson Show. Hey, Tampa Bay.
Hola, mi amigos. Welcome into a Friday edition of the JP Peterson Show. We are just back from Bucs training camp, and we smell like it. It was a hot one today, Timmy. It was a hot one today. It was roasting out there. The first 2 days, they got a bit of a break, but today was quintessential Tampa Bay training camp heat, and Cody Mauch loves it. He loves it. He's just glad to be back out there and not watching from the sideline. So we got lots to get to from Bucs camp today. Little fallout from yesterday's shenanigans with Baker Mayfield. We'll talk some Rays baseball and everything you guys want to bring to the table. We have stadium news update too, Timmy. Sorry. But we got to do that as well. How are you? What's up, Timmy?
Oh, it is warm here as well. Took the dog out for a walk a little bit ago, about as much as I could after recovering from the bad flu earlier this week. And the dog was like, "Screw this! I don't know. Take me home now." It's already 98 degrees. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Tally's very much that way. She just drops the ball and goes, "Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Well, just take care of this business here. We can head right back up to the bed. I'll just keep watch out over the pool in the bay here." Watching for the Dolphins. All right. I said, I got
nice.
you. I got you. I don't blame you.
It's not a bad existence, right?
No. She's got it sweet now. She's got a really good setup at the new place. So she's loving life. All right. We'll get to all that stuff. You're going to hear from Todd Bowles, his reaction to the Baker Mayfield evisceration of the organization yesterday. People took me to task, Timmy, for my describing this as an evisceration and a scorched earth.
I kind of said the same thing yesterday. I mean, I didn't take you to task, but I said I don't know that I agree that it was as bad as you made it out to be. I mean, it was bad, but to me, I was very polite about it.
It was polite, but I think if you read the transcript, you're like, "Whoa!"
Right.
It's one of the. It's kind of a little different. It's like a little stronger words than the actual delivery because he wasn't mad. He was just, hey, it's all about ball. I just, I'm disappointed. I feel disrespected, but I'm moving on.
Yeah.
And I will say this: if you were looking for Baker to take the day off, that wasn't it. If you were looking for him to not be sharp today and be distracted, that didn't happen. Baker looked good today. He was zipping the ball around. God, I saw him miss one throw today, but that was about it. One great thing, Timmy, about being at camp is your proximity to watching the players. And we get to sit right there on the sideline. The fans aren't far away either when they're on the far right field. But just being that close to it, there was a play today where I like to stay ahead of the play about 20 yards. So they're running a play where they get Godwin kind of against a cover two where he's doing like an in route and then out to the corner. And you got to drop it in the honey hole between the safety and the corner. And I was just like right in line. Like Baker was almost throwing the ball to me.
Yeah.
I was right in line and you're watching it all kind of develop. You're watching Godwin run his route, and he's such a good route runner. And he takes that step to the sideline, and I look up before he even, way before he makes that break, that ball is in the air. And it's just Baker throws such a tight spiral, and it's just like, it's got this, this beautiful arc on it. And you're watching, all the players come together, and he's like, "Oh, is he going to get it over the corner's hand? Is he going to get it from the safety? Is he going to?" And it's just Godwin full out, hands stretched out, right on the corner, right on the sideline, catches the ball between the two guys, falls right at my lap, and then jumps up and just goes nuts, and the crowd goes nuts. I mean, even Godwin knew, man, that was sweet.
Right.
That was just as good as it gets, man. That was absolutely perfect timing, perfect throw, right in the honey hole. And it just, when you execute a play like that, it's just magic, man. That's the magic of football.
Yeah.
You got to have the protection. And I could see Baker behind the line, and he's looking left, and he's coming back to the right.
Yep.
And you can see it all, but and he turns back and he lets it go, and it's just it's I don't know. I get a little excited about that stuff. I get to see a little bit crazy excited about it.
You know what that should tell you, JP?
It's football season.
Football's back, baby.
Ball's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, of all the the bullshit we talk about, and we'll talk about more of it today. When it gets right down to the game, I don't know. I feel like with the outside distraction, and maybe it's our fault in the media for concentrating too much on it, right? That's why I want to talk a little bit about football today.
Yeah.
It's just we do get a little carried away with it. But man, it's sweet to watch. And guess what happened after that play? After the crowd erupts. Pay the man! Pay the man! Give Baker his money!
Is the crowd chanting?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You think he's not a fan favorite? I mean, come on.
Yeah, he's a huge fan favorite.
He's got to be eating that up too. He's
he is. I was trying to look back to see if there would be any reaction from him, but and the reaction was interesting. I don't know, and I'll get your take on this because I watched a little bit of national stuff, not a whole lot. Watched a little bit of it because it was making the rounds. Obviously, it was the top story on every show, and my feeling from the national media was more Baker's side than the Bucs side. Is that what you kind of got?
Yeah. So yesterday on the Scott Wetzel show, Scott's a national guy. Obviously, he's based out of New York. So he doesn't know lick about the Buccaneers, right? He doesn't talk about them or follow them day to day. And in his ranking of quarterbacks, he talked about this. He doesn't have Baker in his top 10, but he says he's right there. So from a national perspective, I get it, right? If you don't watch him every day, you probably don't know. He did say, however, because he talked about it quite a bit, that, man, from the outside looking in, this is a horrible look for the team, for the Bucs, just the way they're treating him.
Yeah.
After, and again, this is from a national perspective. He doesn't watch the games every week. He's not watching practice or tapes or listening to interviews.
Right.
He just said, look, he's not Tom Brady, but I know they've had a lot of success under him. Mm-hmm. And for them, whether he's top 5, top 10, whatever, you're just going to forget about that. And you're just going to ignore that ever happened over, $5-10 million a year, or whatever it is. And he said it's a disgraceful look for the organization.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree. And I think that's kind of the national narrative right now. Alex Nunster mentioned Gerald McCoy. Said McCoy basically said the Glazers on some shit without saying it. Yeah, he did. I was interesting. I was watching Gerald's reaction. I was wondering what it was going to be. And he kind of started out like he was going to be anti-Baker, and then he kind of slipped into, he goes, I'm a player first, man. I love the Glazers, but he goes, this guy's earned the money. He's a franchise quarterback, and you don't need to be messing around with this stuff.
What is Gerald McCoy
on? He's on Fox. He's on the main desk now on Fox. Huh. Or is it NFL Network? I get him confused.
I don't think it's not Fox. So okay, all right.
No, he's got a big time analyst job.
I think okay, so it's because he was on NFL Network on the desk before.
Yeah,
I didn't know they were doing that. I didn't know that show was even around right now until football season.
Well, he just did this on his own. He does a lot of videos on his own, and he talks a lot about the Buccaneers on his own. And he's always popping stuff on there.
I love Gerald McCoy. He tried to have a run through here in Dallas, and the Cowboys had signed him.
He got injured, really,
and he blew his knee out the first day of camp. Blew his knee out. And he never came back and played.
He's a bit of a polarizing force here in Tampa Bay. I always thought he was really good player on some really crappy teams.
Right.
And people would complain about him because he was the highest paid player. But I'm like, Gerald McCoy's not the problem. The rest of these trash around him.
And I was happy to have him here when he signed here. I'm like, this is going to be good.
But he was outspoken, and he sometimes rubs people the right way. He gets a little butthurt on things at times. I think when we gave away his number to Ndamukong Suh right away, he got a little butthurt about that. But, good dude. I think he's a good analyst. I think he's a really good analyst.
And I think one of the reasons I'm kind of drawn to him on TV is I absolutely love the black dude that has the Southern drawl accent. Mm-hmm. Randy Moss, right?
Yeah.
And Gerald McCoy, I giggle inside every time they talk, and I don't know why. It's just so unusual.
Yeah. Yeah, he's good. He's good.
He's really good.
In fact, I'll try to find his tweet, and I'll try to play it in the second half because I thought it was really good. And of course, we got some reaction today from Cody Mauch, which we'll play here in just a second. And I think in terms of a distraction for the team, they're going to say it's not a distraction, but
right.
We're all going to be talking about it all year long. If this doesn't get, it's like, oh, Baker's off to a good start, or Baker's off to a terrible start. I guess the Bucs were right, whatever it's going to be. It's always going to be something that's talked about. Baker may not take any more questions on it, but his teammates are going to have to answer him. His coach is going to have to answer him. If Jason Light ever comes up for air, he's going to have to answer. And honestly, I think at this particular juncture, I'd like to hear from Jason and the ownership group on something like this.
Yeah.
But I also understand that's a no-win situation for him. Because you're going to have to come out and basically defend your position, which would make you have to bash Baker, which you don't want to do publicly. That doesn't help anything. So it's just, Jason's just going to have to keep his head down, I guess, for the most of the time. Because, what's he going to say? Is he going to come out and say we don't think he's a franchise quarterback? We don't think he's worth the money? You don't have to say it because you've already said it by your actions. Saying it in person is just going to put salt in the wound and create more of a distraction. So I get that. But you'd like to hear from the organization, but that's not going to happen. I understand that. I understand how it works. As close as we could get is Todd Bowles, and he didn't have much to say about it today. I'm trying to find the Bowles. There we go. I think this is it. Todd, quarterback, had a few things to say yesterday. I'm sure you heard your reaction to that.
I didn't have a reaction. He had a few things to say. He said it. We were all about ball today, and we moved on.
That's
and
it.
There you go. And there you go. We didn't expect much more. I could have had a more elongated question, but and gave my opinion.
He would have answered it the same way.
He would have answered it the same way.
Yeah.
So, Cody Mauch was, and many of you know that Cody is very close to all the offensive line, very close with Baker. He spends a lot of time with these guys. Pretty smart. They've got his back. But I thought Cody really answered this well. I believe this is it. Can't get the full description on these, Timmy, so I can't.
Yeah, it
trying to hover over him.
Which one are you looking for?
The one where he talks about O-line and Baker. I think this is it right here.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone said it when they talk about it, but we're getting the wide zone game going a little bit more, and I think it'd be good for us. I'd say we're all pretty athletic up front. Tight ends are athletic, so not only the wide zone, getting us moving, get the running backs moving, but complementing the rest of our game as well. We'll still get to our gap scheme, we'll still run some duo and stuff, but just us being efficient at this wide zone will help us set up kind of everything else. So really excited about what we're doing so far.
It's a question on Baker and what he said yesterday. That's how difficult it is to watch.
Yeah, 100% franchise quarterback. He for sure is, and it sucks to see him go through this and whatnot, but it's not gonna change his mentality, the way he plays. He's talked a lot about it, but he's just gonna go out and play ball. So it's unfortunate, but he's gonna go ball out, and it's gonna get made right. So he's not thinking about it. It's not a distraction on anyone else. So it's it's all good.
He said he addressed the team about it. What were your takeaways from that?
I'd say just how committed he is. He set a deadline. He said his, deadline's beginning of training camp, and he's sticking to it. And now he's like, I promise, I'm all about ball and whatnot. So, yeah, very straightforward about that. The biggest thing we all took away from it was we're playing ball now. He's not worried about contract stuff. It's all about the 2026 Bucs. So, it was a good talk.
Well, he has a bigger chip on their shoulder than he does, it seems like.
Guy lives with a chip on his shoulder. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah.
So how do you see this going with him in terms of taking the disappointment of this and kind of tucking it away and focusing on ball? How do you see this going for him? Because he said he's going to have a big year.
Oh, yeah, he's going to go off. He's Bake's going to go out, and I mean, Bake plays well, and he's MVP, Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, he's unbelievable. So no doubt in my mind, he's going to go out and do that, and get even more money now. So it's going to work out better for him in the end. So no, excited to see the way Bake uses this year.
Yeah. I think, that gives you a really good insight into what those guys are talking about. And for Baker, it is. It's like, look, I bet on myself again. I'll have to do it again. I'd like to finally have gotten the contract, but I guess that's just not in the cards, and we move on. I did see some criticism of Baker. Some people I respect on Twitter basically saying this is not what real leaders do. They don't take their grievances out into the press and kind of throw their organization under the bus. Like Brady wouldn't do that, blah, 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 blah. I see some merit to that. I do see some merit to that in most situations. And perhaps I'm just too close to it. And we're too close to it. And we know Baker, we like Baker, and we've seen what he's gone through, to help this team. And he came in here, played for nothing. And the Glazers have gotten the bargain on this contract for 3 years. And going to get another good year out of the fourth. He's been vastly underpaid by the market. And in situations like this, normally the team does the right thing and compensates the player. And it sends a great message throughout the locker room that we're in this with you. And what the Bucs are doing is the exact opposite of that. And I commented on it. I said, there are some organizations that take great, great value in building a culture and a chemistry, something that everybody can buy into, where the players, the organization, the management are all on the same page and they're moving forward. Guys are taking less money. They're in it to win it. And I believe the Bucs were there for the last couple of years. I really do. But this feels exactly the opposite of that. And it's because of the self-inflicted wounds of this ownership group and the decisions that they've made. When you keep Todd Bowles, a 500 coach for his 5th season, that's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way, especially players who are uber competitive and want to win. And they know that Todd Bowles has not proven himself and is an elite coach. So where did Mike Evans go? Someplace where there's a coach that's considered elite.
Now he's got more wide receiver competition.
Yeah. Now he's getting, hello, Debo. But that Parsons or Pearsall went down anyway.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
this is still going to be.
He would anyway.
Yeah. So listen, I mean, that's one decision. The Vita Vea decision. Now the Baker decision. There's a lot of stuff that off free agency in the off season they went cheap. There's a lot going on here and then when Baker mentioned Tristan's contract. How he had to hold in, a guy the only guy in NFL history with an all-pro at the left and right tackle. When he mentioned that tells you they've been talking about this for a while.
Yeah.
How this organization is treating their players. And again, if you're on management side and the Bucs side, I see where they're coming from. They're trying to make the best deal they can make. It's a salary cap league. You're trying to get your best deal. I totally understand it. That's Jason Light's job. But there are also times and situations you don't treat all players the same. You treat all players how they deserve to be treated. Okay? You evaluate what they're doing for the organization, how they're playing, and you get treated by X. If you're not doing the things that the organization wants to reward, then it's maybe more businesslike. But by any metric, Baker's done it all. He's done it all. And those who want to criticize Baker for the slide at the end of the season last year weren't paying attention. You weren't watching the games. I'm sorry. I'm just going to disagree with you. He was not. Did he play great? No. But look what's going on around him. Godwin was down. Evans was down. McMillan was down.
Yeah.
Your offensive line is a sieve. You're getting battered and bruised, and your organization is so bad they can't find a competent backup quarterback. So you got to play every single game.
You had no choice but to play.
And you're pointing at Baker Mayfield? Baker's got to show me something. What has he won? What has Todd Bowles won? But when you make these decisions, and a lot of people see them as being cheap, especially with Todd Bowles, that's out there. When you do that, you lose the faith of your team. So as an organization, do you want to build camaraderie? Do you want to build a culture where everybody's buying in? Or do you want to hire a bunch of mercenaries?
Hired guns.
Do you just want to, everybody's deal is just business?
Who, by the way,
matter.
don't give a crap about the community they live in and play for.
Yep. Nope. The Hessians, right? The German soldiers that the British paid that didn't give a rat's ass.
Yeah.
Not my soil.
Nope.
I ain't dying for this. That's what you get with mercenaries. It's the portal in college football. When Jordan Travis was there and guys came in the portal, there was a team camaraderie at Florida State. They all brought in. And when Jordan left and there was no leadership, they were just a bunch of mercenaries. And it showed. And that's what you've created here with the Buccaneers. Now, luckily, you've got leadership in Baker and some other players that won't let the guys sulk and feel sorry for themselves and say, screw the organization. I'm just going to go out and play, collect my money. I'm not going to give you all of it. I'm just going to go through the motions. I'm going to get the hell out of here. Go somewhere else. Luckily, do a Hassan Reddick. Luckily, we got guys that don't know that. And maybe the Bucs understand that, and they're like, they're going to play hard anyway, so screw it. I'm not going to play them.
Yeah.
We'll just, it's better for us to just let Baker play year by year. Sure it is. I get that. Sure, if you could play your quarterback year by year, not guarantee anything, and if he gets hurt, you just move on. Sure, that's great for you. And it's great for you. Be like, look what the Bucs should just wait and see. That's great for you. But the players see this. They see it. And if you can't guarantee them money against injury, everybody knows what this is. This is the Bucs trying to save money. Hey, let's pay him. We'll pay him 41 this year. That's great. I just don't want to guarantee 180 like all these other teams are doing with their quarterbacks. Why not? Well, pay as we go. We'll franchise him. We'll move money around. We'll do whatever. I don't care about whether. But what if he gets hurt? I don't care. It's not my problem. Go play. If he gets hurt, then we'll move on. Of course, the Bucs can do that, but that doesn't engender. It's when the players look at it and go, "What are you doing, man? What are you doing? You can't even guarantee this dude." That's what happens. These things don't happen in a vacuum. And if you don't think the players are all talking about it, you're nuts. You're nuts. They are. Now, hopefully they'll pull it all together and it'll be us against them mentality. But my experience is when the organization treats the players like this, it doesn't end well. Because you know what happens when adversity strikes, and it will strike. You want to band everybody together. Come on, let's go. Let's go do it. Let's go do it. We still got to get up and play, guys. We got to go hard. I know we got some adversity here. We lost a couple games we shouldn't have lost. But then deep down inside, people are going, for who? For what?
Yeah, they don't care about me.
For who? They don't care about me. I mean, let Browning play this week. I'm good. And that's what you're fostering. And if you say otherwise, I don't think you understand how this game works. But
and then so Richie Rich 4379 brought up a good point in the comments here. And then we look over at Brock Purdy in San Francisco getting all the money. What's he ever done?
Right.
Baker's probably looking at that like, what's happening right now?
Yeah. It's not just Brock Purdy now.
I know.
There's a lot of quarterbacks in his tier that are getting paid $55, $60 million. Yeah. But I guess the Bucs aren't in the business of paying quarterbacks. And
I saw the same thing you did on social media about a lot of people calling Baker out. And a lot of the people I saw calling Baker out they're not Bucs people, right? They're whatever. They weren't Bucs fans. And like you threw a lot of his performance issues into context. I mean, and you have to look at the context. You can't just look at his numbers and go, "Oh God, he sucked." That's not a good negotiating chip for him. No, but the team knows exactly what happened last year. They're not going to throw that in his face. But don't compare Baker Mayfield to Tom Brady. Oh God, Tom Brady would never do that. No, Tom Brady would never do that because he's not that guy. Baker Mayfield is full of energy and full of charisma, and he is outspoken. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. And he is not attacking the organization with his words. He is being asked questions in a press conference by a reporter, and he is replying in the absolute kindest possible way he can do that without throwing his organization under the bus, in my opinion. I think he's being way too nice about it.
Yeah.
But his words, if you just read the transcript, yeah, I get it. But that's not who Tom Brady is. He would never have to do that. That's just how Baker is with his life, man.
His Tom Brady's future is secure.
Yes.
Okay. And was secure when he got here. The financial future. That's not the same for Baker Mayfield.
Right.
You know, he hadn't, you know, by that time Tom got here, he'd made $375 million on the field and another $7 billion off, you know? So it's a totally different situation. Don't forget, Baker got shysted by his own family. Matt Doria says, I really wonder if it's a Jason or owner thing, why these contracts with your two most important players on each side of the ball aren't being done.
It's not Jason.
Either way, it's a bad look for the organization. Yeah, something this high up comes from the
that's
owners.
not Jason.
This is an ownership decision. No question about it. One of our members, Peterman's, Kurt Thorson, says, I watched Tampa City Council yesterday. They were done by lunch. Carlson spoke less than I've ever seen. No motion to vote on land use to send to Tallahassee. Another week goes by. What now? Well, the land use thing is not a big deal. I've been told by 4 or 5 different sources at this point. And it can be transmitted at any time. And they can even get the work started without it. So it's not that crucial. That was just more of a city shot over the bow to the Rays to say, hey, you got to come talk to us. And they finally got it. You know, it's actually probably going to turn out as a positive thing. And it was orchestrated by Carlson. So now Carlson is getting his concerns heard. You heard him on this show. He came on here and said it. We talked very specifically about it. There are certain things that he wants done, and some of that involves other intergovernmental things that are outside the Rays deal. It's like the downtown CRA, that they don't need that money for blight down there because there is no blight. So they can now move the money that's being generated into the general fund to pay for the road repairs that Carlson wants instead of giving the money to the Rays. So for Carlson, now I got my money for roads. We're good to give the money to the Rays or to the project, invest in the project, as I like to say, not give the money to the Rays. Okay. So this is how the negotiations are working, and it's working forward now. Now, Ken Hagan has come out and said the city's going to go first. They're gonna vote first, and that's smart because they can't get it done without the city. They need the city. We thought they can fund it without the city, but they need the city's cooperation, and especially if the city's not voting for huge gobs of money to go, then of course they're going to vote yes. Carlson will be a yes, especially when he gets these things thrown into the deal and all the benefits. So I think there's very much a way, but Hagan's saying, look, we're not going to put our political butts on the line if you guys are just going to vote it down, right? Because once they vote for the stadium, if the county votes and they leave it up to the city and they don't have the votes, then they've just supported a bill that's somewhat controversial, obviously, and they could take some political heat for, and they don't even get the thing passed. So for Hagan, that's a no-brainer. Yeah, if you guys are going to be obstructionists and going to be a problem, then we're going to let you guys go first. And I think there's absolutely a pathway to a 4-3 vote. Might even get to 5-2 on the city. Because if Hurtak or Guido Maniscalco gets to he's talking to Ken Babby now and gets his concerns alleviated, then we're good to go. So I think it's very much a positive, all of this back and forth communication that we've had on this show this week with the mayor and Carlson. This is all good. This is all good stuff. And we're plowing our way towards a deal. So that's the update. I know someone asked for a stadium update. That's the update. And I think it's all good. So Kurt, don't get hung up on the land use transmittal. It's not a big deal and it can be easily overcome. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, one of our Rays limited partners, Mike Murphy, is going to join us here from the Murphy Auto Group. We're going to talk some Rays baseball. I guarantee you we're going to talk some Miami Canes football, which he's involved with as well, and some other things happening in the community. And we are brought to you by Genesis of Tampa. his wonderful dealership right here in Tampa, where I just bought my GV70, which is the car everybody's talking about. Unbelievable performance for the money. I've driven it now for 3-4 months. Absolutely adore it. Love it. Had the valet service. They came here, picked it up while I was on the air, serviced the car, brought it back. Easy peasy. They're making deals at Genesis of Tampa, and they're doing great things in the community. We were at a back-to-school event last night that they hosted. We collected a ton of school supplies, which was fun as well. So great in the community and a great deal. That's Genesis of Tampa, 801 East Bears Avenue, right there off 275. Back in 3 with Mike Murphy. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch roofing done right.
Big thanks to Italiano Insurance, the great folks over there. They will soon be part of Gallagher Insurance. A little name change, but same great folks, same great customer service you've known for over 65 years. They do all the work. You save all the money. ItalianoInsurance.com at 813-877-7799. Hey, guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch and everything, is handmade, and the wings are big and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service you get, $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's a love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey, JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see him and tell him JP sent you.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Riveters, where you go watch the Rays play because it's always happy hour. At Riveters, when the Rays are playing, you get $6 Jack, $6 Tito's, $6 Mark, all the food specials as well. And the food is absolutely phenomenal. Go get the Reuben, which went viral. They slow smoke that corned beef for 8 hours. They do the same with their prime ribs for the tacos and everything. Oh, absolutely fabulous, and the wings are the best in town. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters, Riveters.com. Right there, just south of the stadium on 275, just north of 275, right there on Dale Mabry, next to the old spaceship. You know where it is. All right, want to welcome in one of our Tampa Bay Rays limited partners and my business partner here. Did you let us stay and do our podcast here? It's the great Mike Murphy joining us here. What's up, Mike? How are you?
Great to be back in my own office, but part of my office I don't get to spend any time in.
You know, you're always welcome here. The door is well, sometimes it's open, sometimes it's stuck, but it's always open for you.
Well,
so
you know,
I beg you all the time to get in here and talk some because it's Cane season now.
Oh yeah, we're
You're a big Miami
what an
guy.
amazing time, right? We've got baseball last weekend without football. Isn't that kind of incredible to think?
Because we got preseason.
We got preseason
Right,
starting. We've
That
got
kinda
the Hall
counts.
of Fame game. Yeah, I think for the sports gamblers out there, maybe it scratches an itch, starts to ease you into football
You're
season.
sick if you're betting on preseason, bro. You're sick,
Take
sick,
the
sick.
under.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, but it's interesting times as a limited partner of the Rays. I asked you this last night because one of your dreams in life was to be a baseball owner, and you did that at 40 years old, which is incredible. And I asked you, I said, because you're a big sports fan with Canes and everything, but is it different watching games as an owner? Like, how much different is that?
You know what? Bringing up the Canes makes a lot of sense. I'll give you an example. The way I felt in Jury World while we were playing Ohio State, our rival, who I despise in every way possible.
Who doesn't?
Watching Miami beat Ohio State, the anxiety of that game is what I feel 162 times, at least 100 plus now. So every game feels like the most important game you've ever been to. And the peaks and valleys is amazing, right? Like, I've got a very small percentage, but it still matters a lot to me, right? So a 4-game losing streak against like the Red Sox devastated me. I'm on a vacation with my family and I looked miserable. I'm like at the pool, just adding to it with my tears. Like, we ever going to beat the Red Sox?
It's that bad or that good, I guess, with 20 games over 500.
Oh, it's that good. You know, I knew we had a special team. I thought we were going to be plus 500 for sure. If we stayed healthy, we were going to be special, but I'm not sure I saw this coming. So
I don't think anybody did. I don't think Eric Neander did. And now he's got to decide, you know, what does he do here in this next couple of days? It's a great opportunity. I mean, fortune favors the bold, as Joe Madden likes to say. So, you know, I'm like, F the prospects, go get Tarek Skubal.
Wow. Could you imagine? That'd be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I think the best part as Rays fans, and I'm a Rays fan first, is we've got goats making these decisions. And
Yes.
Kevin Cash,
Yes.
right? No one's been a manager longer now.
Yep.
And I think is younger in the entire league. And Eric Neander is like a cheat code in life.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully his good luck and great decisions continue.
Now, it's going to be fun. So how is it like waiting for the news of transactions? Like waiting.
We, in my world, I find out about the same time you do.
Yeah.
That's why we all watch your show, is because I think between most of us, we are
Nothing yet on the
living in
phone
free
yet.
time. Okay. Well, you know, the news will break probably here first, and we'll see. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know I checked my phone 5 or 6 times already, and I've only been to work for like 2 hours.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see and this is, you know, we talk about the long forever home of the Rays for generations to come, which I believe we're very, very close to. And I think it's going to happen. But just what it brings, the emotional attachment that the fans have in Tampa Bay to this team. I know the Buccaneers have been here longer. I work for the Lightning. But I'm telling you, when we start talking about the Rays, it is unbelievable how many fans you guys have. I mean, you guys have more attendance than they do because you have more games, but it's amazing. People love this team here.
especially this year, has been an amazing rebirth. I don't know the exact
Tropicana
statistics.
Field is alive.
It's alive. It's crushing statistics. Hopefully it's not raysbaseball.com, but we're like something like first in fan experience, first in ease to get to the ballpark, first in ease to exit the ballpark, most likely to return for another game. We had the highest rating. We jumped 9 points in certain areas. So, with Babby's leadership and some new ownership, it is the best version of the Trop. And I know you've been
by
there,
far.
but it is beautiful.
You can just feel it through the TV screen. I've been a couple times, and when I was there, I was just amazed at the energy. And it was like a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
It was a Tuesday night against it wasn't the Red Sox or Yankees. And typically that's 5,000 people in that place, and it's just an absolute mausoleum. It's horrible. There was tarps off. I mean, it was probably 18,000 people. And the energy in there, the brightness of it, just everything they've done, it's a total 180.
Yeah, and you think about this too. I think our third highest attendance was the Cleveland game last Friday.
Yeah,
it's not a Red Sox, it's not a Yankees. That's crazy. Those are Rays fans showing up to watch the Rays play
in late July when everybody leaves Tampa. I mean, there's nobody here, but they they're showing up for the games.
It's special.
Yeah, it's really fun, and I think we're really close to getting that done, and the impact that's going to have on this city is just it's remarkable. And to think of what, I don't even want to think about if they were to move. So I'm not going to talk about it, but the impact this would have, not just on baseball fans, but just, you're a businessman, and we'll transition into this. I mean, the economic impact of something like this is just insane. We talked about the numbers are ridiculous, but just the good feeling that it brings to the people of this town.
Absolutely. I mean, baseball is the reason, I am where I am with my life. My dad played professionally. I can't imagine a world where Tampa Bay doesn't have a major league team.
No, we don't think about that. Well, congratulations. Your 1-year anniversary of Genesis of Tampa. One really, really happy customer, by the way. How does that feel?
It's amazing. There was a time we weren't sure we were going to be able to open. We had some headwinds, but first off, Hyundai Genesis has been an amazing partner. They believed in me. They believe in this area, and we need representation in Hillsborough County. We've absolutely crushed it. I mean, I never thought we would be a top 50 dealer in the United States while we haven't built a brand new dealership yet.
Yeah, I know. And that's hard to do.
It is. Now my challenge is maintain that relationship in Hillsborough and go after Pinellas and Pasco County. There's no reason why you shouldn't be coming to us. You're going to have a state-of-the-art, brand new, $10+ million dealership. It's going to feel like you're walking into the Hard Rock Spa to buy a car.
Wait. Where's that?
That'll be on the same property. So we're going to scrape everything you've seen. I bought some additional land on Bears Avenue, so we've got room to park cars.
Ooh.
But this thing will be beautiful. I mean, drop dead gorgeous.
Keep my studio here, though?
Unless you want to go live from Genesis of Tampa.
Oh, we could do that. Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to do that. Well, congratulations on that. And you guys are running a great dealership. And last night we were at an event, and this is something that is near and dear to your heart. You guys like to be out there in the community, and I've seen it from day one, from the inside now. You're constantly doing things with USF, the school event we had last night. Why is that so important to you?
Well, I like to think that we're for purpose, not for profit. Although I love making money. That's the whole reason why we do it, right?
Right.
But you've never seen a U-Haul behind a hearse. You can't take this stuff with you. So while we're here, we need to do good with it. And that's what's so exciting. Every month, Genesis of Tampa loves on a different part of the community. And as we go into our first anniversary sale, we're focusing on kids and making sure that every kid that needs a new backpack and school supplies has that. I mean, it's tough enough to get a good education nowadays. Can you imagine being without paper, without a new backpack, the social anxiety that comes with that? So that's the real reason why we sell cars is to do well with it.
Yeah, and you guys have done a great job with that. We were talking your leadership. I talked to people within your company and outside your company, and you're regarded as a very dynamic young leader and what you've been able to accomplish in a very short time. And I know you do a lot of research and study, and you read about leadership. What are your key tenets of leadership? When you enter a company, or even in a baseball situation, what are these key things that you think about?
So leadership really breaks down to me this way. First off, you need to practice what you preach. So you don't have to tell people you're a leader. They'll start to follow you through your actions alone. So there's never a wrong time to do the right thing. There's never a right time to do the wrong thing. But then, unfortunately, everybody gets a vote. So your best laid plans rarely survive first contact. So you have to be stoic. Life's supposed to be hard. When Dad was battling cancer, he made me put on my phone a quote that says, "I'm bulletproof and fearless." He's like, not that you believe that, but that's what you need to portray. And then I said the second thing about leadership is you got to know when to be flexible, because if there's somebody smarter than you, better than you, then you need to take that advice. Wise men seek counsel. So we do that. And then I think the last part of leadership is dare to dream big and then be just a little bit stubborn, right? You got to be just a little bit crazy to put all of your life savings into the middle and try to chase your big, audacious goals. And for me, that's been automotive retail, and just blessed that, Patrick and Ken gave me an opportunity to be part of the Rays.
We were talking in the break about Baker Mayfield and his leadership and what's going on with the Bucs over there. It's my feeling that the organization that even just a year ago was building a great culture that kind of had continued from the Brady years, and the organization and their players were taking less money. Everybody was all in, and that just eroded, I thought, last year. And then Todd Bowles is kept, retained. Mike Evans leaves, goes across the country for less money, a guy that always wanted to be a Buck. And now the Bucs don't want to commit to their franchise quarterback, the player you drafted in Vita Vea.
Yeah, absolutely.
It seems like, I said on Twitter, you can try to build a culture where everybody's buying in and management and ownership and the players are all together, or you can hire a bunch of mercenaries, and good luck with that. I feel like we're getting the kind of mercenary route here.
Yeah, it feels like a band of pirates.
Yeah.
Or Buccaneers.
Buccaneers, yeah.
When Brady left, the question was who was going to be our leader, who's going to step up and lead. And regardless of if it's scorched earth or not, which I tend to agree with you, but Baker just stood up and says, I'm the leader of this team, and he's put the bullseye on his own back. That excites me for this year, because nothing unites a group of people like a common enemy, regardless of who that enemy is.
Even if
we're
it's
in the
your
NFC
boss,
South.
even if it's the ownership.
I don't expect to win a popularity contest in Murphy Auto Group, but I know they believe that I've got their best interest at heart and a pay plan that will make sure that they meet and, if possible, exceed their financial expectations for themselves. I don't have to be liked. And I like that about Baker right now, is he's drawing a line in the sand. And if it's us against the world and you're at rock bottom, the only place to go is up. So I'm riding with Baker on this one.
There's been some theories out there that the Bucs are actually playing on that, like piss Baker off and we'll get the best Baker. But you also, you fuck around and find out, because you can franchise him next year. Maybe it could cost them a lot of money. It's going to, at the worst case, it's going to leave them much less flexibility to go get other players, which is why I think they should do it now and give him a long-term deal for many reasons. But if he just doesn't want to play for the Bucs anymore and he has a great year, which I think he is going to have a great year, the Bucs may find themselves in a quandary.
What happens if he has a great year and we don't make the playoffs? Does he stick around if he's got some input on the next head coach?
I think his feelings about the ownership group have soured dramatically. And I don't blame him. And I've known Brian and Joel specifically for a long time. And I think they've done a tremendous job the last 10, 15 years, doing incredible things in the community. And when Brady got here, they opened a checkbook. There's nothing they would not do, and rightfully so. And they won a Super Bowl. But I think some of the decisions they've made in the past year, as I detailed, I would have counseled them otherwise. I don't think certainly the fans are not happy about it. I don't think their sponsors are happy about it. If I was a sponsor and you've got a popular player like Baker Mayfield, your foundational piece, and you're effing around with them, that's not a good look. I don't know. I would counsel them otherwise. My opinion.
Nice thing is they have a whole season to make up. And
that's true too.
Winning fixes a lot of problems.
That's very true.
And hopefully he's got some great performance parts of his contract. And I think at the end of the day, what happens on Sunday will fix a lot of problems. Now, you can always pay him halfway through the season. What's the one thing you do in negotiations is you never stop. So I don't know if it's really over. Maybe this is.
I asked Baker that yesterday. I said, if the Bucs come to you and name your number, would you be listening? He said, well, they're not going to be talking to me. I mean, they might be talking to my agent. I don't know if he's going to pick up the phone, because we said negotiations are dead. Now, we all know if the Bucs said, okay, we're going to meet your demands, he'd sign the deal.
Maybe we should send Baker to Iran to negotiate. If he's that good at this, well, maybe I got his life after football planned out.
Hard to go worse. Hard to go worse at this point. But, I don't know. I just think But you feel that his leadership will not be affected by it.
If
I
anything-
feel that too. I think he'll have a
If
great
anything,
year.
it'll be magnified.
Yeah.
Now, what is he going to do with it?
I love it. I love it. What else do we want to talk about? Oh, your Hurricanes.
Yeah, hey, on paper, I think we're better than last year. We still got to
That's
prove
scary.
it. We're humble. We're hungry. This is a different Miami. Knock on wood, but we're staying out of the press for the wrong reasons and staying in for the right reasons.
Yeah, there's been a very much a culture change at Miami in that way.
And Mark Richt deserves a lot of credit that
Yeah.
he doesn't get.
Absolutely,
You bring in
100%.
a guy with his faith, his class. It's amazing.
Transformed the program.
If he just
Really
stayed
did.
healthy, he probably would have been there a lot longer.
Yeah. God bless Mark.
Yeah, we wish him the
great,
best.
great man. So when you got Malachi Tony, you're halfway there.
Well,
But what you lost a lot? Mensa, Bain. We got half your team here in Tampa Bay, by the way.
right. We lost a lot, specifically in our defensive line, but we replaced it with all 5 stars. Armando Blunt's going to stand up this year. Justin Scott's going to have a great year. Wilson came in the portal. He's a first-round pick. So I think we reloaded. And, a lot like leadership, yes, Ruben Bain, Messidor are amazing human beings, very grateful Bains here in Tampa Bay. But when you're coached by Jason Taylor, the great Jason Taylor, like I am giddy. I'm so excited for what the potential of this team can be. They just got to play together. And I think they will. They're focused on the right things.
FSU game is in Miami this year.
Yes, sir.
You taking me down there?
Yeah, but you know what? It's the day after the Grable Gala, which is Grable Rescue's
That's right.
Gala.
We're going to talk about that too. Thank you for
What a
reminding me.
segue.
Yes,
I almost
thank
did
you.
that on purpose.
Where is that gala?
So
In
the
Miami?
gala's at Motor Enclave.
Okay. Oh,
But
yes.
there is an FBO right next door, so we can have a great time and still get to the game. Assuming you guys have a great record, which I expect you to. I think the team looks good on paper.
I think we'll be better.
Should be a
Just
night
the
game,
quarterback should be much better.
Yeah, and we'll see. But if that's a night game, let's all go and let's have some fun. Maybe bring a fan or two, a listener or two along. And
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
we'll get them some orange
Take
and green.
a moment to talk about Grable Rescue too.
Yeah, Great Bull Rescue is amazing. For those of you that don't know, during Hurricane Helene, my house in Beach Park was a total loss from a Tesla fire. And in the worst moment of my life, there's no one can help. Tampa Fire Rescue gave us a 9 to 11 hour window for when they could come. Like the house is burning to the ground. Brian Stern and his team, Krillo, the boys at Great Bull Rescue, which I'm now a member of, an operator on, came and rescued my family, walked through that water, put them on canoes, both of my neighbors, and we exfilled that location, and they saved a lot of lives. And
Wow.
I owe them everything. So this gala is really to help us reload. There's been thousands of missions, tens of thousands of people. It's donor funded only, although they're an NGO and rescues Americans all over the world. We also do some other things like Nobel Peace Prize winners, but it's all funded. So when they run out of money, when we run out of money, Grable Rescue, there's Americans in bad places that can't be helped.
It's important. And those guys get shit done.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, there's a lot of money. You can give your money to a lot of different things. Sometimes you don't know if they're trying to find a cure of whatever that disease is or not. But you give money to Great Bull Rescue, it's going to help Americans in the worst of situations.
Yeah. If I may, Maria Curcino Machado, Nobel Peace Prize winner, opposition leader in Venezuela, Brian, with his funds, got her out. Do you think we would have took out Maduro without Brian getting out the opposition leader? Of course not, because they would have gone after her.
Right.
So there is real life superheroes.
Wow.
They live in Tampa, and they wear Grey Bull Rescue on their shirts.
I want to hear more about that story.
We'd love to have you at the gala. It's going to be a really cool event. We got some really cool surprises.
I would love to be there.
And everybody can. We're selling tables. We're selling individual tickets. Sponsorships are available. Everything is online at graybullrescue.org.
graybullrescue.org. All right, Mike. Well, it's always fun catching up with you. Will you please come back?
Absolutely.
More often?
Absolutely. It's a little bit of superstition. We're playing so well that I don't want to break anything. So if we win tonight, hopefully I can come back next week.
Let's do that.
Let's go Rays.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back on the other side. We got some more sound for you from Antoine Winfield. We'll hear from him. Tyke Smith. We'll hear from him, and we'll do more on the Rays as well. Quick break. Back in 3. Well, the folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC want to say thanks for making them so dadgum busy. Of course, advertising on your favorite Tampa Bay sports talk show helps, But it's their incredible customer service, honesty, and integrity that have earned them tons of 5-star reviews. And now you could be part of the team at Third Generation. Yes, they are so slammed, they need to hire more certified AC technicians and plumbers. It's a great family business to work for. My buddy John Rodriguez runs an old school family business since 1995. They pay well, give you all the holidays off, and they offer great benefits. No cold corporate atmosphere here. You're part of the family. If this sounds cool to you, call them and apply at 813-961-8024, or you can email your resume in at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Just go to the website, you'll see the button, email them, or call them at 813-961-8024. And don't forget about the $169 yearly maintenance special. It's a no-brainer, guys. thirdgenerationplumbing.com, and they also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to fanstreamsports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the JP Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our FanStream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. fanstreamsports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream, fanstreamsports.com.
Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Big thanks to Mike Murphy for jumping in here today. Great, always great to chat with him about leadership and business. He's been such a young leader for his, when his father passed, and he's just done such a great job with his companies and keeping everything rolling. And not only that, tremendous father, husband, just the best of the best, absolutely the best of the best. And so many guys like him are in this ownership group. And that's why, I've been so bullish on these guys since I first found out who was in the group, and then it's just grown even more and more as the group has grown, especially with the Tampa Bay people here locally and the leadership of Mr. Babby putting through this deal, which is so complex and so complicated. And they still got a ways to go. There's still negotiations that have to be done. And these things take a lot of time to get down on paper. And not that they're totally starting over, but now negotiating with the city council is a whole nother layer. So timing is affected, and it may take a little bit more time than they thought, but it's, I think, very positive. I think you heard Carlson in the interview he did here with us on Wednesday, I believe it was. I don't know if he could have been more conciliatory and positive. There was the blow up with the mayor, and that was kind of a long time coming and really had nothing to do with the Rays. The Rays were just kind of the vehicle that exposed all of that. I think you heard the mayor on Tuesday, the temperatures calmed down and people are very much looking for solutions to get this done. And I think we're in that space right now. And it seems very, very likely that within the next month, we're going to get votes. The city will have to go first. I think Carlson is going to be a yes. That gets you to 4-3. And I think Guido Maniscalco is also in play as well, because I know Ken Babby's having very productive conversations with him as well. All right, let's get to your comments here today. By the way, Braves with a big win yesterday. Cedric Mullins with a little bleeder over the Longo wall there in left field, a little Oppo taco shot after DeLuca tied it. I mean, that was kind of a dramatic comeback to win and beat the Rangers, a first-place team. So here come the White Sox, who just walked off the Yankees, 2 days in a row. Thank you very much for that. So they're coming in here brimming with confidence. And the Rays, they're going to get the Rays of the meat of the Rays pitching staff. And here we go. Should be a great weekend at the Trop all weekend long. Get your butts out there. Go watch this first place team. And as Mike said, it's going to be a very interesting next 48 hours. There may be some players on that team that may be heading out the door. So get on over there, support the Rays this weekend. Should be super, super fun. I might be over there as well, trying to get over there this weekend. All right, let's get to our commenters here. Bucs Basement says, good morning, JP. Based on the fact that I keep getting harassed by Bucs office to renew tickets and now they email me deals, it's safe to say there's no longer a wait list for season tickets. I think you put that in here yesterday as well. Yeah, I think we all know that they're, I don't want to say struggling to sell tickets, but they've been very active. Heard that from a lot of people, and a lot of people that discontinued their season tickets because of the Bulls decision. I don't think the activities of the last 48 hours with Vita Vea and Baker Mayfield are changing anybody's mind to go buy more tickets. In fact, I think it's gone very much the opposite way. Like I said, there were more than a couple times when Baker made plays today where the crowd was like, pay the man, pay Baker. I think the fans are not pleased with this development. Alejandro says, while I love the Bucs, this team and ownership has always gone cheap and relied on the draft and then let the best players leave instead of paying them. The Glazers are cheap and lucky Brady came here. I took umbrage with that when people say that they're cheap because they spent a lot of money during the Brady years. But again, the actions of the last year show there may be a shift in the philosophy. And I don't know why. Some people say they're saving money for the renovation. Those are capital expenditures. I don't want to get into the tax implications of all that, but spending money on players and, spending money on capital improvements is two different buckets of money, really. I know you still have to spend it, but it's just different. And in terms of a salary cap league and what you can pay players, and look, with the contracts Mike Greenberg can do and his wizardry and, deferring contracts, they can spend probably, 20, 30, 40% more of the cap, maybe not 40, but you can come up with ways if you really want to pay players. And again, there are ways to go cheap, times to go cheap and times to pay guys. And to me, these two are guys you should be paying. Aviation 1436 says, am I crazy to think they shouldn't pay Baker yet? Solely based on the fact that if they have a down year, it could be time to blow it all up and rebuild. No, this is not crazy, Aviation. It's not. It's not. It's just, that's why I'm trying to stress this culture piece here. Okay. When you have a guy like Baker, you want to say, well, we want him to prove it one more year. Well, he's already done that. If you're the players, okay, he's been a bargain for 3 years for the Bucs, and this will be a fourth year that he plays on a less than market value contract. Sure, and not just less, dramatically less. And typically organizations will, okay, now it's time to pay him. We pay him. Brock Purdy, Jalen Hurts, etc. Even Joe Burrow, who was oft injured, got paid. And I know Joe's a tier above. I get that. But still, even the cheap-ass Bengals could have been going, this guy gets hurt all the time. Let's just franchise him. Let's just keep franchising him. But at some point, you're sending a message to your team. And I think this is what I worry about. It's like Baker's like, what the F do I got to do to get a contract? I mean, the guys are in there saying the same thing. I mean, damn, he does everything the organization asks of him and more. And he can't get a guaranteed deal. It just reverberates. That's why. I mean, you're looking at it in a vacuum, like, sure, the Bucs would love to pay him year by year. We'd all like to pay our players year by year. And you can franchise him and maybe you take away his right to free agency, but it's still going to hamstring you. Doing a long-term deal right now, you get it out of the way, you build camaraderie within the organization. Your leader, your foundational piece is secured here. Your sponsors are happy. If you're a suite holder and all this is going on, I talked to a couple of them. They're pissed. It's like, man, what are we doing? I mean, I'm paying you all the money you ask for, Buccaneers, and you can't go out and pay your best players that we want to see play? That's all part of it too. It's all part of it. Douglas Batista, one of our VI Petermans, thank you very much, says, is Stu advising the Glazers on how to be cheap and the art of pissing off your fan base? Evidently. I wondered what Stu's been up to, and now we know. Rick says, Douglas, I think the Glazers taught Stu. They were here first. Thomas Casper says, talk about Avram Glazer austerity mode. The just ended 50-year relationship with Coke to undrinkable Pepsi. The soda machine in the workroom at One Buck Place for the press is now Pepsi. And I was so happy to go try the cherry Pepsi today. And I got my glass out, the ice, and I pressed it to the machine. It didn't work. Not quite ready for the Pepsi part of it to take over. But again, 50-year relationship with Coke. Pepsi. Making more money. Why would you change? Money. Got to be money, right? You're a sideline reporter, 20 plus years. Nope. You're out. Lot of decisions going on here. Rick said, Vita and Baker haven't gotten any new contracts since the new intro song. JP, just saying. So it's my fault now. It's my fault. Maybe we'll make a new song that includes Baker and Vita having contract squabbles. Sergio Biltres says, how can you offer your franchise quarterback a 2-year contract? That's more of a prove-it deal than anything else. Yeah. Again, guys, are the Bucs strategically playing it right in terms of money? Yeah, they are. But that's, again, how do you build culture? How do you build camaraderie? How do you build a team? Again, for me, football, NFL football especially, you want everybody feeling good about the organization, about management, because there's going to be so many times during a game, during, a season where you ask yourself, for who, for what? Like, what am I playing for? It's so hard. the pain you have to go through, the rehab, everything you do. And you're just challenged at moment after moment, even on the field, specific games. It's like, how much more do I want to give? How much more do I want to give? And that's where the magic happens in sports to me. When I see championship teams and how guys come together and they play for each other. And I think that's what this Bucs team is going to have to do. They're going to play for each other because as a collective group, their leader, and you heard Cody talk about it today, without being rude to the organization, it's like, that's our leader. That's our leader. That's who we're playing for. But still, if things go south, it's going to be tough. Man, Bear Pig says, you're still my quarterback, Tony Romo. That's my quarterback. That was a fun video to watch that. It's always fun watching like famous people, especially broadcasters, hammered drunk on the DUI cam. As long as nobody gets hurt. JP was reminiscing about his quarterback days on the sidelines today. Yes, I was, Rick. I was. And you nailed that one. Listen, at a much lower level, obviously, but still, the enjoyment of taking a pigskin and throwing it over the mountain, throwing it a deep ball, 40, 50 yards, and dropping it right in the lap of a speeding receiver just over the outstretched hands of a defensive back. And you don't know. It's like you let it go and you're like, ooh, I think that was good. But you never know until it gets there. And just the slightest bit off, you see the receiver starting to pull up and you're like, oh, shit. Because I know how that feels. But when he doesn't slow up and you just hit him right in stride, you're like, damn. Not that I ever did that, but it feels good. It feels good. And just watching that magic like up close like that. Yeah, I got really up close too, especially when Chris had his little celebration right in front of me. Needed a towel. Thank you for that. Kurt Thorson says, as I predicted, it wasn't a stretch. Baker Mayfield banner on the southwest corner of RJS. Awkward. How can you not? You gotta act like nothing's going on if you're the organization. Nothing to see here. He's out there playing. Listen, he's right. It's all about ball now. The only way he's going to make more money is if he goes out and balls. If he pouts and plays like shit, he's done. Why would you do that? He'll be good, but it's still a bad look and I think it's a bad feel for the organization. Because while Baker may be playing his ass off, some of these guys may be going, they won't even pay him. They ain't going to pay me. Trust me. They're thinking that. Again, we just read that one. Rich Perry, believe his new one's here. Was there an offer of 2 years, $100 million guaranteed? We don't know. From what Baker says, 2 years was the max, and they didn't get close to 50. So it was 2 years, 90 million, 80 million. So weak. I mean, the Brock Purdy deal. Brock Purdy, I said. Which I happen to think, I think he's a really good quarterback, but I don't think he's as good as Baker. I mean, obviously he's had a much better team around him. Yeah, signed a 5-year contract extension worth $265 million, which includes $181 million in guaranteed money. Brock Purdy. I don't think, and I think Baker would have taken less. Not much less, but less. Rich Perry says, I am in One Buck Place a lot, and Baker has posters on all the walls of him, so he's visually everywhere. He's the face of the franchise. He's everything. He's everything. It seems everybody else values him more than his own team. And I thought, the quarterback series on Netflix, if you haven't seen it, the quarterback series on Netflix shows him to be an incredible husband and father and an absolute cheerleader for Tampa Bay and everything Buccaneers. And, does he cut back on that? Doing stuff for the organization? I don't know. Probably not. But I'd be hard pressed for me to do it. you know? Rick says ownership will never speak up publicly, especially after Chris Thomas skewered them after the Dungy firing. Yeah, the Glazers don't speak out very often. They're very, I think their experience in the British media has scarred them for life. And let me be honest, I much rather would have the Glazers way than having to listen to Jerry Jones all the time. I guess it's entertaining though. I guess for the media it would be good. But it's just in terms of if I'm a fan, I want my owners to be very much in the background. And have deep pockets and just ask the general manager what needs to be spent and just say yes every time. That's what I'd like. And it's just, listen, I don't want to say it, but it's pretty clear that they have pulled back financially from where they were. And why is that? I know they got a lot of money. Even if you're having to do this renovation, which we say is a $1 billion renovation, you're going to get 500 from the county and the city. It's a great investment. You're still making money back from other events at Raymond James Stadium. I believe that's still the same deal. The NFL has never been more profitable. You just sold a piece of Man United for what, $1.75 billion. I can't believe cash flow is an issue. So what's going on? Are they getting ready to sell the team? The fact that they never really approached the TSA about this renovation in any timely way, waiting for the last minute, just when the Rays are about to get their deal and coming in and asking for $750 million. I thought that was a little awkward, to say the least. But, that's another curious decision. And now, you finally get a franchise quarterback. You finally got a guy. And you don't want to pay him what he's worth. It's bizarre. And then Vita Vea. Matt Duria says, I feel like Baker has more than proved that he's a franchise quarterback. And if he leaves because he feels disrespected, then that's going to suck. We've never had a franchise quarterback. Yeah, just think about it. If he were to take us to, say he goes and wins another playoff game, maybe two, right? Has a great season, which I think he will. So then the Bucs have got to franchise tag him, or they can offer him a long-term deal, and that's going to cost even more money. So the only way, the Bucs win here in this strategy is if he gets hurt and you don't want to pay him anymore. But then still, who's going to be your quarterback? We're one snap away from it being Jake Browning, backed up by Connor Bazelak. Wow. I'm not sure we want to see that for a long term. KC Eagle says, when are the Glazers going to sell the team? They have turned it into Stu. Doesn't want to spend money. I don't know. Again, the sale of the team is a complete fabrication of my mind. I have no information on that whatsoever. I just look at their behavior. They've been really good, spending to the cap and everything for years and years, and suddenly it feels like they've pulled back in some very key positions. And then the decision to keep Bowles, if that was money, that's really bizarre. Perry Munches says Tom Brady left because of money and contract when he came to Tampa Bay. If Baker does his job and excels, he will get paid next season. Tom Brady did not leave because of money when he came to Tampa Bay. He wanted out of New England. He wanted a different situation. Baker's done his job. He's done his job. It's time to pay him, in my opinion. Michael LaRue says that the Bucs tag Baker in 27 at $47 million and again in 28 at $56 million. That's why the Bucs are offering less than $50 million AAV on a 2-year deal. Bucs have the leverage. It's smart move, but at what cost? Again, guys, from a bean counter standpoint, it's the right move. But this is not, we're not selling cars here. And we're not, this is not IBM. This is a football team. And he is your leader. He is your emotional leader. Without him, this team is Squadouche. And it's a leadership position that you want to be stable and bought in. Like people can say, a pissed off Baker is the best Baker. I would postulate that a committed to Baker would be the best Baker. Like knowing that the organization loves you and has your back and it's guaranteeing you money for the next 3 to 4 years. That's the best Baker to me, the all-in Baker, because it's a Baker that you can count on down the road. Folks, in 2 years, if you were to give him the Brock Purdy deal, in 2 years, it's going to look like a bargain. And I expect Baker Mayfield to play at a high level for the next 3 or 4 years? Absolutely, I do. And I expect Vita Vea to play at a high level for the next 2 or 3 years. Now, you can take umbrage with that, but first of all, who are you going to get to replace him? First and foremost, yeah, it might cost you less, but are they going to be as good? Not likely. In fact, definitely not. Michael Lewis says, does Baker walk in 2029 or cost $70 million AAV in 2029? Or is he traded before that? Just make it easy, Michael. Do a 5-year deal, guarantee him $180 million, get the AAV around 50. He could even probably be a little bit below that. And he's going to be, I won't say he's a bargain at that rate, but I think he's slotted. And don't forget, you've already got him for the last 4 years at a very discounted rate. So from a cost evaluation over 4 or 8 years, 7 years, what it's going to be, you're still paying him less money, way less money than market rate. And again, it's like you have $400 million in the cap, I think it is, or close to it these days. What is it up to now? 365, 3 something? I haven't checked lately, but it's going up every year. Yeah, Richie says, Richie Rich says, you just want to be compensated like the Purdys of the world. Yeah, absolutely. Baker is in favor of the Rays Stadium across from RJS. Well, then pay him just for that. King Cook says, we can't pay quarterbacks and we can't draft quarterbacks. LOL. I know. Kurt says, somewhere Doug Williams is reaching out to Baker. Join the club, brother. The ghost of Hugh Culverhouse has descended upon $1 place. Oh, brutal. Aviation said via DraftKings, the Bucs and the Saints are co-favorites to win the NFC South. The Saints, huh? I think we're putting a little bit too much faith in Tyler Shook there. Rick says Baker walked out of Jason's office and said, I keep receipts. Oh, God. Kurt Thorson, who actually goes to these city council meetings, said, Hurtak said aloud at the council meeting in discussion with the city CFO, the proposed stadium project will delay some projects that use CIT money. She seemed gung-ho to be sure that point was made. I think that's a point of contention, actually. Hagan has told me that in the city and the county that the CIT money that's already been appropriated, those deals are going through as appropriated. There's not, at least that's what I've been told. Now, any future deals, any future expenditures will be affected. It's anything new that they propose in CIT. But as far as I know, and what Ken said, Hagan and Babby, that anything that was already on the books is not being touched. So I would take umbrage with that. And I would say, just in general, a lot of people on the city council don't seem very well informed. Muslim Adam Sandler says, Eric Peander. Oh, you did that on purpose. Trading for no one per usual. PTSD from Nelson Cruz. I don't think so. I think he's going to make a move. I'll bet you on that one. Richie Rich says, Lamar was injured last year, and what happened to the Ravens? Same exact thing. Well, he's got a long-term contract, though. Baker does not. This from John Minky. Elephant in the room, $800 million of debt by Manchester United Football Club. What are you even talking about? I'm not aware of this. You may be right. I'm not saying you're wrong. But I thought that team was flush with cash. Where did the $800 million in debt come from? They just got paid $1.75 billion for a piece of the team. I know they're building a new Old Trafford over there. Is that what you're talking about? I mean, if that's the debt on the new stadium, that's just going to be paid over time of the riches, the untold riches that'll be produced by that thing. So I don't know. I'd have to check on that. Richie Rich says Manchester United's total financial liabilities approach 1.3 billion pounds, driven by long-term borrowings, a revolving credit facility, and substantial unpaid fees. I was unaware. Richie Rich. Did they not get a crap ton of money in that sell-off? I was unaware. Well, so you're telling me the Glazers are in financial trouble? They own a football team that's worth, Lord knows, $8 billion. Of course, that's what it's worth on paper. It doesn't mean that they have it in their bank account. I get that. It's very interesting. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, if there's some type of financial pressures, it's certainly showing here. And that's what happened last time there were issues when they went to buy Manchester United. There was, at that particular time, there was no salary floor because the CBA was in flux. That's when they went and hired. Gruden wanted to go free agents, bring in more free agents, spend more money. And the Glazers was like, that's not happening. When John got fired late, remember that? Like weeks after the season, he wanted, the reporting is he wanted free agency. And I've been told this many times. He wanted to go get players. And the Glazers was like, nah, we're going to go draft. We're going to go young. He's like, well, I'm out of here. And their cheapest option at hiring a coach, Raheem Morris, who won 10 games and then lost a lot more. Won 10 games one year. Didn't make the playoffs, but won 10 games. Kurt says, how about that 8th inning homer by Mullins? Squeaked into Longoria land, 162 landing. No one thought that would stay fair. Beat Tim's Rangers 2 out of 3. Should have been a wager. Let's finish strong in July. Yeah, baby. I'm not even going to read that, Rick. Screw you. Kurt Thorson also says, and how about that 9th inning catch by Mesa Jr.? That was Kiermaier-esque play. If that landed, that's an RBI triple to tie the game. No, that was the play of the game. He made a great catch earlier, too. Victor Mesa Jr., like dark horse, poor man's MVP. I mean, he has been fantastic. Defensively, offensively. I mean, we're talking about bringing in all these, other guys, especially outfielders with big bats. Like whoever gets taken out, I'm going to kind of feel sorry that they're gone. Everybody's been playing well. J.K. Sinar says Baker is the number one reason I watch Tampa Bay. He has incredible drawing power. Yes, he has chemistry. He's our star. Again, this is what, you don't treat your stars like this. You just don't. Liquor Lab, like that, said New York Sports Talk Radio, WFAN is talking about bringing Baker to the Jets. Yeah, he's high in demand. Especially after this Netflix series. People don't hate Baker anymore. Like, oh, he's actually a good dude. And I love the way he balls out. Yeah, I was going to look at all the teams and say, which team right now would trade for Baker Mayfield? Yeah, I bet the Jets would. Yeah. Certainly the Cardinals. There'd be quite a list, I think. Quite a list. John Mickey says, I'm hearing 8 teams have interest. Go ahead and trade Baker now and Vita crush the team and start the rebuild. That's the thing. We don't need a rebuild. You only rebuild when you have no other option. You have a third best top 3 offensive line in the league. A tremendous group of receivers. I watched make great plays again today. By the way, I haven't even got to my training camp notes. I'll do that next. You got a great group of receivers. I love the backfield with Gainwell, Bucky, and Tucker. Love the backfield. And Bucky busted another one today. Gainwell looked great. Offensively, and you got the new Zach Robinson offense, which heard Cody Mauch talking about going to the wide zone and how that sets everything up. That's what Liam Cohen's deal was. Where you run out to the right wide zone, and you either give it to the back or you pull it. You come out on the boot. You got the whole half field open. And Baker works so well in that offense. You can go short. You can go long. You have options out in the open field. It's really good. And it's really effective in the running game too. And Cody Mauch's talking about it. He loves it. It's going to be good. They're going to have a good year offensively. And then defensively, if Bain is what we think he is, and he's not slowed down in this training camp. He's making plays every day. You got a new linebacker core, which I think is going to be a huge upgrade from last year. I shouldn't say huge. I think it's an upgrade. Anzalone's going to be good. Trotter looks the part. Really looks the part. But they'll probably play a lot of dime packages, though. I think they really like some of these, the addition of Keontae Scott. Parrish looks great. They were talking about him today. Made a couple of plays. Antoine Winfield, Tyke Smith, really, really good players. Still worried about Ben Morrison. And then Zion, hopefully, will play aggressively this week. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And I got some more sound from some of the guys talking about the changes on defense and some of the cool things going on offense. Hey, we're brought to you by the Golden Diamond Source. It is still Christmas in July, the last day for that. Get on over there. Check out all the specials they got going with their Christmas in July promotion. They've got real diamonds over there, 5, 10, 20 karat diamonds. Check it out. Everything you need in that superstore. That is the Golden Diamond Source. 0% interest if you want to buy that big diamond for your girl. Go on over 3800 Olmerton Road, just about 20 minutes from downtown Tampa, right over the bridge, and tell them JP sent you. We are back in 3 because I got to run the break. And away. Hey, Tampa Bay, it's time to get your AC unit ready for summer. And here at Third Generation Plumbing and Mechanical, we recommend getting ahead of the game, keeping your family cool before the hot summer months with one of our maintenance agreements in the hopes of avoiding the dreaded emergency service call. Our maintenance agreements include, we'll test the electrical components, check and tighten high and low voltage wire connections. We'll check the refrigerant for manufacturer's performance levels, test thermostats, calibrate if needed, clean the evaporator coil and condenser coil, and clear and treat the drain line and drain pans. Just call us at 813-961-8024 for the special rates, and a human will actually answer. 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's a love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey, JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue. right off of 275. Go see him and tell him JP sent you.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Here's we roll on this Football Friday as Buccaneers camp is underway. 3 days. Today was the hottest by far, folks. It was a smoker, but we love it. Absolutely love it out there. Watching practice. What a privilege to be able to get up close to those guys and take all that in. I absolutely love it. You'll never hear me complain about being out of training camp. If that's my job, I love it, boys and girls. Absolutely love it. All right, we're going to get to some more Antoine Winfield Jr. And some other sound from today. Cody Mauch was really, really good. Dropped a few F-bombs. So I want to get to some of that. Some observations today. Chris Godwin, I said this a lot, but he looks like almost when he was a rookie. He's so explosive. He's always in the right place. Baker loves going to him. He's going to get a crap ton of targets this year. I think the over on his yardage is like 675 for the year. Blast that. If he stays healthy, he's gonna fly right by that. Ted Hurst, I continue to like the way that just watching him play. You know, he went to Georgia State, so you kind of worry about if it's too much for him. And he hasn't shown any signs of that at all. He just hasn't. He looks very smooth out there, catches the ball really well, and he's just such a big guy and can run. Man, he can run. Really enjoy watching him play out there. Abuka is having a great camp, and the signature play of the day, 11 on 11, where Baker kind of faded to his left to buy a little bit of time, and then off his back foot, he throws just this beautiful arcing ball over the top of the corner. Forgot who was on that, into Abuka's arms, and he takes it the rest of the way, about a 70-yard touchdown. Absolutely tremendous play by him. Baker just throwing lasers after lasers. Parrish had a couple of really good plays, Jacob Parrish, and you'll hear Tyke talk about him. So those were some of the standouts today. All right, I'm going to play a couple more things here. Here's Antoine Winfield Jr., talking about second-round pick Jeremiah Trotter, the running back, and the chemistry among the defensive backs.
Yeah. He's an athlete. Like, he's one of those guys who's like, okay, this guy, I mean, he's fast, he's big, he's physical. He can cover running backs, receivers, tight ends well. So he's gonna have a great role in our defense.
So moving pieces in the secondary, a lot of versatile new additions. Has that helped you maybe play a little bit more free so far in the spring and in training camp?
100%. I think so.
Does that mean like playing closer to the box, being, more aggressive for the football?
Yeah, just I'm moving all over. So being able to move all over and get in different positions is, I think, best for me, and that's what I'm hoping to see moving forward.
Antoine also talked, I think I have this one here somewhere, about the changes in the defense. I can't see it. Sorry about that. He basically, I asked him about the scheme changes because Bowles has alluded to that. And he said, I don't know if he used the word significant, but something like that. And when I asked Antoine, I said, obviously you can't get us specifics, but just what is the theme of it? Like, how you feel about it? And you heard him say he's moving around a lot. I think he's going to be a big part of this. And I think it's it's just being more aggressive in the secondary. I think they're going to play a lot more. If they play zone, it's going to be a more aggressive zone. Thank God, because their zone has been so passive. And then man-to-man, just not playing safe, like taking chances. I think they've always coached these guys to, make sure you make the tackle. If we'll give up a 7-yard gain if you make the tackle. And instead of being more aggressive, if there's a time to jump a route and go on a pick six, go get it. It's just, that's kind of the theme I'm picking up, is that they're just going to be a much more aggressive defense. We'll see.
3 days like this, so
here.
Can't complain, but it's going to come. The heat's going to come. You can do what you can to acclimate to this weather, but there's really nothing you can do until you're out there playing ball. So it sucks early on, but we're all going through the suck together, and it sure as heck pays off when teams are coming down in September and sweating their balls off. Second quarter, and they're starting to fall apart already. So it sucks, but it's a good suck, I think.
Channeling his inner Pete Fairbanks there. It's a good kind of suck. All right, here's Tyke talking about Jacob Parrish and the defensive backs. Tyke Smith.
What stands out to you about Jacob Parrish? You just mentioned him a moment ago.
Versatility and toughness when he play. I think he don't say much, but when he play on the field, he play bigger than what he is. And we can play him at outside corner, nickel. Then he can play anywhere in the back. And then, like I said, his toughness.
One player who's very similar to Jacob Parrish is Keontae Scott, the rookie. I mean, he's lined up at nickel, safety, corner. What are your impressions of him so far?
I think he's doing a real good job coming along. I think he's gonna be a big addition, and I think he's gonna play a big part of this defense for us.
And as a rookie, I mean, you played nickel, Jacob played nickel. Now Keontae, he's expected to play nickel. How is that a valuable, maybe stepping stone?
I think the nickel is probably the most important part of our defense. Just you being so versatile and being able to do a lot and doing what Coach Bowles asked to do. If you could do that at a high level, we'd be very successful.
Yeah, Keontae Scott, when you watch him play, and I was eyeballing him out there today, he's, he looks very comfortable in this defense and he's quick to it. He makes quick reads. You can see the instincts he has for knowing where the ball's going to go. And these are the type of players that make a difference because they can get turnovers, instinctually. And that's something he's done his career, either cause or pick up fumbles, interceptions, making big plays, tackles for loss. Those are the instinctual kind of players. And you can see the kids from Miami know what they're doing. Ain't no doubt about that. All right, here's Cody Mauch talking more about his knee and his rehabbed knee and the running game in general.
Great. How are you guys? Good. 3 days in, no issues at all. So it's feeling great.
Elated about that. I know how stoked you were when we talked to you at minicamp.
No, yeah, I mean, that was good like testing process to see kind of how it is, how it was feeling, and there was no issues then, and yeah, good again now to come back to this and no issues again. So, I mean, pretty pumped about that. I just put that kind of, behind me now, and now we're on to this year and find things to get better at. Oh, God, I mean, Tristan had to go and do his little hamstring there, but otherwise we're close, though. We're close. I know I don't know what he's doing, but no, I don't know. No, it's good to be back out there with the guys. I mean, even having School and Chuk in there, like, it's good reps for them, and we're not they're good players too. So it's just I just am so excited to be back out here again.
Baker Mayfield, he told us that when you guys are all healthy, it's the top 3 offensive line in the league. How great is it? You mentioned playing together again, but just to have your quarterbacks know that whenever you guys are all out there at the same time, you can absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to have, him trust us just as much as, we trust him more than anything back there too. So, yeah, I think we play well when we're together. I would absolutely say that. But also if, one of us gets beat or whatever, Bake's going to go make some plays back there. So, no, it means a lot that Bake has that much faith in us. But, it's just got to go out and keep getting better now. It's top 3 turned into the best offensive line in the league here.
From Zach Robinson and this.
He was asked that next question about Zach Robinson and talked a little bit about the wide zone. And that's, something they did a lot with Liam. And, without giving away any strategies, we all remember what the Liam Cohen offense was. It was a lot of bootlegs, getting Baker on the move And, Josh Grisard came in last year and he said, we want to stretch it out a little bit. We want to maybe get Baker to throw the ball downfield. And I think we can all agree. Baker's got a great arm. He's got a strong arm. He can throw the ball downfield, but I don't necessarily think he's a great deep ball thrower. But the bottom line is it's a low percentage play. And the high percentage play is the 24 offense when he was completing 71% of his passes. And one of the great things about Baker is he's so good at moving and delivering the football. So in those short strikes passes where you're talking about, the jailbreak screen, the tunnel screens, where you really need to place the ball in that perfect spot, just a little bit ahead of the nose with the hands so the guys can snatch it and run. And their vision is up. They're not bending down to get the ball. The ball's not behind them. That screws those plays up. When you don't hit it in the perfect spot, those plays are dead. Because it's so much, the timing has to be critical. And he's so good at that. And he's so good at getting the ball out on time, perfect, leading them perfectly, getting them in a running position. And you can create explosive plays off these short passes. And that's what they did in the Liam Cohen offense. And of course, it married so well, and what Cody's talking about, with the running game. You're the wide zone, the bootlegs, where you don't know if he's going to pull. If he pulls it, the linebackers have to get back in their zones, into the throwing lanes. And if he hands it off, those linebackers have to be there to meet the run. Because if you don't get to Bucky or Gainwell, and they take that first cut, and we've seen it every day in practice, Gainwell and Bucky, they make that one cut on that wide zone and they're gone. So I'm excited about the running game with the return of the running game, the Liam Cohen running game, which I think we will see this week. All right, let me do one more here. I think this is Bowles' opening statement. We'll play this as long as we can.
Morning. Good morning. No, him and Chris, we have them slated for days when they don't practice, and today was Ashawn's day.
Todd, quarterback had a few things to say yesterday. I'm sure you heard your reaction to that.
I didn't have a reaction. He had a few things to say. He said it. We were all about ball today, and we moved on.
He'd asked about some of the secondary additions.
He's got good athleticism. That's what we saw when we signed him right there. Right now, with the rotation being off, everybody's kind of going 1, 2s, and 3s, so we really don't look at who he's working with. He's got a very good athletic skill. He has some nickel flexibility as well, so it'd be interesting to see him in pads.
In addition to Williams, Aiden Garnes has gotten an extended look. What have you made of his play so far?
Very good cover skills, very good cover guy for a corner that small. He's got great feet. He's got very good instincts, so I want to see him in pads as well.
Coach, in your opinion, what's the hardest thing for a rookie to assimilate now that he's a pro?
Really, probably the playbook. They don't have any playbooks in college anymore, so just understanding and making calls and communicating where they're not holding signs up from the sideline and comprehending that and then putting that together with his game.
He has really shown the ability to knock the ball out like he did yesterday.
Ask about Tyke punching the ball out.
Come with experience, or is that something you kind of keep working at and been able to almost not perfect it with new level?
Well, they harped on it at Georgia. It's one of the things I've seen when they did that. Just being down there, Coach Schumann did a good job of teaching those guys, and Tyke does a very good job. His hand-eye coordination. It was him, it's Winfield. Levante's gone now, but them three have a very good knack for that.
All right, it's Todd Bowles to begin practice today, talking about some of those defensive backs. All right, let's get back to your comments. Appreciate you guys jumping in here. We will do our VI Petermans first and get to your comments. I think we've read most of them here today. Here we go. Richie Rich saying that Baker mentioned they do it with other players. Yeah, there's franchise quarterback contracts all over the league, and you would think that he would be part of that, and the Bucs just see it a different way. Rick says that's a big ass elephant in the room. It's always money with them. Poorest billionaires ever, talking about what the Glazers owe. Yeah. I don't know all about the Man U stuff, to be quite honest. I'm going to have to do a little digging over the weekend. Kurt Thorson says, I attended Baker's first game as a Buck in Minneapolis. Bucks up by 3 in the fourth and need a first, 3rd and 10. And he runs and lowers his shoulder versus the defensive back and gets the first. Sideline went nuts. He won them over right there. Yeah. From the very beginning, he's been the guy. And it's because of stuff like that. These guys don't come along that often. And when you got one, you got to keep them. You got to keep them. And you don't want to piss them off. You want them to be in a good space where they don't have to worry about their future. That's why you guarantee the contract. That's why these teams do this. When you have a leader, you want to keep them around. You want to have stability. You want people to know this is your guy, and he's not going anywhere. All right. Muslim Adam Sandler said Eric Pisander, it's Neander, just said on WDA that the big acquisition was Craig Kimbrell, and it's likely there won't be any more moves. What a joke. Come on now. That's not true. That's not true. I think he might be sandbagging you, or you might be sandbagging us. Muslim Adam Sandbagler. Real Berg native says, what about playoff game against Detroit? Baker threw the game losing interception. Yeah, it was all his fault. You're right. You're right. He also gave him the lead that the defense just gave up. Or do you forget that part? And they had no timeouts, I believe. 46 seconds left. They had to go the length of the field to get a touchdown and a 2-point. So you had to force the ball. And he did, and he got it picked. You would want better. Listen, you want a perfect quarterback? You want Pat Mahomes? He got a guaranteed deal. I'm not saying he's Patrick Mahomes. Nobody is. But he's a franchise quarterback, and he's your guy, and he wants to be here long term. This is really not even a hard one for me. And I'm shocked that the Bucs are treating it this way, given their history of quarterbacks. I mean, you want to take shots at Baker? You want to say he's the reason that we lost last year? You don't know anything about football. I'm sorry. Michael LaRue says Bucs can tag Baker, but he does not have to sign the franchise tender. So he can essentially hold out as long as he wants without getting fined because he won't be under contract. That's Baker's leverage. Exactly. Who wants to go to all that mess? It's not needed. You're just trying to cheap out here and not have to pay a lot of upfront money. Maybe you don't have the cash flow. It's just, I'm sorry. In my tenure of covering this league, and I think a lot of the guys, the old heads over there, would back this up. Do you see other franchises not franchising their quarterback, giving them a franchise quarterback contract? No, you don't. Do you see other franchises extending a 500 coach for a 5th season? Which is what Todd Bowles is when you throw in the playoffs at 1-3. No, you don't. Mike Evans wanted to be here a Buck for life, and he left for way less money and went across the nation. The free agent pickups by this team were not of the highest caliber. They were the C-level guys. We cheaped out on that too. And a team that, again, I think has a really good chance to win the division. If you're in this situation, most ownership groups in this situation are looking for ways to be buyers. It's almost like we're sellers. You're the favorite to win your division, and you're not going to pay your best defensive player or your best offensive player, or at least your most valuable. I mean, we could argue about Tristan Wirfs here. He's your quarterback. So listen, you can make all the economic arguments. We get it. You can franchise him, right? But it's the message you're sending to your team and to your franchise quarterback and to your best defensive tackle and your best offensive tackle. All of these contract problems have been down to the wire, hold-ins. You're not getting a deal. You're not getting a deal. It's the reverse of Oprah. St. Pete Pat says, based on what quarterbacks are getting paid right now, you have to go between 52 and 53 for probably 3 years for Baker. Yeah, that's the market rate. Pay it. You underpaid quarterbacks you've never paid a real quarterback wage. At some point, you got to do it if you want to play with the big boys. Why is it this market acts like we're freaking Peoria with our ownership sometimes? Thank God our Lightning don't do that. Joseph Abreu says, Carlson has been very communicative over email with me. He's open and trying to find solutions. You are 100% right there, my friend, as he was on this program. Let's see, another one. SLR says, assuming the franchise tag is around 50, the Bucs decide to tag Baker will accelerate the dead money they owe him and drive his cap hit to around $80 million. I don't see him doing that. This is what Baker referred to yesterday. Now, the Bucs are telling us through certain channels that that's not a problem. They can just redo other contracts and spread out the dead money in other places. But it does give you less flexibility in bringing in other players. You can't deny that. You can't, you can keep creating cap space to a point. When you're redoing other contracts, then you run out of contracts to do that for. So there is a point. It's not unlimited. But if you want to stretch, at times that you want to stretch, and to me, this should be a time you should be stretching because you're a favorite to win the division. You got a guy who can win you a Super Bowl in his quarterback, in my opinion. Sam Darnold can do it. Baker Mayfield can do it. So let's get the rest of your – and you got to have Vita Vea to win anything. Like, this stuff is mind-boggling to me. Alejandro, one of our BIP Petermans, says, okay, Petermans, I have a legit question for you about how you feel about Craig Kimbrell being with the Rays. I've heard people while at the game say DFA him, but he's been good for us. He has a 3.18 ERA. Well, if one of our commenters is to be believed, that's our big pickup. I think he's been okay. He's been okay. As much as you can expect for a guy that you got for nothing. Yeah. I don't think he's been terrible, and he's been okay. He's our B list. He goes in when we're behind. I think he's done an okay job. James Rollerson says, first we rehired Bowles, then Evans, now Baker, Vita. What the fuck? Yeah, exactly. Trending in the wrong direction. Rick says, we're still waiting for the Glazers to come out and support Todd as coach. Maybe Stroud missed the text about Baker contract. I don't know. I think they've supported him by not firing him. Kurt Thorson says, CFO responded in confirmation with their statement. City council is so difficult. Yeah. I don't think it's going to matter, though, because I think we're going to get Carlson's vote. Casey Eagle said Mesa Jr. should be our center fielder of the future. He's certainly playing his way into that. Alejandro says the Tigers scratch Casey Mize from Friday's start. Possible trade for the Rays since we need pitching. See how it goes this weekend and make a splash before the deadline. Yeah, I think they're going to make moves. Buck Skull Game says no. Ray's not making no moves. Double negative. Fired and fined. TJC says, let's make sure we understand that any report about a 2-year, $50 million offer is an extension of an existing agreement, which means he's on a 3-year, $42.5 million deal. Current, not restructured. Okay, so you're talking about an extension. Okay, we'll see. TJC continues. See, what we need to do is agree to a 4-year restructured deal, okay, which starts now. Move money into his current deal to bring him to $50 million. Then the extension of 3 years, fully guaranteed at $50 million. Yeah. So basically, it's this year, add a little sweetener. So he's making what, 4? So 9 this year. And then 1/5. So that's 159 guaranteed. That's less than Purdy got. And you've got him basically guaranteed money for 4 years. That seems really doable. But evidently, according to Baker, they're not even close to that. All right, James says the Bucs want Baker, but not on a 7-10 team that's on bowls, JP. If Baker balls out and the Bucs go 10-7, they will franchise him, and during that time, he gets a massive deal. If they go 7-10, nope. Okay, we get all this, guys. From a structural standpoint, from a Bucs standpoint, yeah. Of course you want him to play out his last year of his contract. Everybody wants that. But you also run the risk of him getting to free agency in some way. And you're hamstringing yourself moving forward if you have to franchise him. It's not the most economical use of your money. And again, it's the message that you're sending. Do you want to be a culture building organization where everybody's aligned, ownership, management, players, moving in the right direction, working in one column goal? Or do you want to hire a bunch of mercenaries and say it's just about business? We're not going to guarantee any final years of your contract. If you get hurt, you're screwed. We don't care. You're pieces of meat. We're paying you. Go out and play. That's the culture you're fostering now by doing this with Baker. You can play that game. Absolutely you can. But what are you building as an organization? Who wants to come play for you? What are the players saying in the locker room? Some of you say, I don't care. You're a pro. Go out and play. That's fine. You're not going to get the best out of your players. You're not. In my opinion. I think it's a cold and calculated way to deal with players, and I don't think it works in the long term. James says, Scott Reynolds says, Buck franchise Bake and sign him. Matty Matera on another planet says Baker's not worth a new deal. Really? Do we mention O-line injuries or Baker's injuries or a stiff for a backup? Yeah. Again, you guys, if the Bucs are looking at this like Baker hasn't proven himself, I think that is completely ridiculous. All right, last one. Kurt says, when Baker's done with Zach Robinson, Zach will get a head coaching gig and we'll need a quarterback one. Baker is the head coach maker. Ain't that the truth, man? Ain't that the truth? All right, guys. What else? We got any more here? From Adam Schefter, the team isn't happy about the way he spoke about the organization. Well, you brought that upon yourself, in my opinion. I don't think you can treat players like this, and then when they get mad and they're candid with the media, get upset about it. I'm sorry. You brought that upon yourself by making this decision. That's my opinion. That's just one man's opinion. I think it's shared by a lot of people. I think it's shared by a lot of fans. I think it's shared by a lot of people in this business, a lot of players, certainly. Yeah. One more from TJC. He says, that's spot on. And you think it's doable, but you got clowns out here who don't understand contracts. Organizations will play it's new money. And sure, but it's now how the APY works. Not sure I understand all that, and I didn't read it very well, TJC. But I think to your point, with the franchise tag, it's not as easy as you guys think. You're creating problems when you don't need to. See, the problem is the Glazers probably have sticker shock that they finally have to pay a quarterback what a quarterback is worth. They haven't had to do that forever. And you probably don't want to do it, but you've also been in quarterback purgatory most of your franchise's life. And you got a guy who ain't perfect, but he's pretty damn good. He's a great fit. He's entertaining. He loves to be here. He used to love the organization, probably not much now. Look, if I was running this team, it would be a lot different. Liam Cohen would be the coach. Baker would have a new deal. So would Vita. Mike would still be here. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I think that's completely doable. had you made that decision, number one, on Liam, and I think you'd be in a much better situation. Thank you all for being a part of this all this week. Great week. We had the mayor on, Bill Carlson. We solved that deal. That's pretty cool. And we got the rest done as well. So just take this with you to your weekend. I'll leave this right here for you. Yeah. Have a Ron Burgundy kind of weekend, everybody. Have a scotch for me. Maybe 2 or 3. Go Rays. We'll see you on Monday, right after training camp. Don't forget, next week as well, most of our shows will be noon to 2. So check your social media every week. See ya. Have a great weekend. Love you, Tampa Bay.